Welcome to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling, the ESPN for all things comedy, with your hosts, Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne. And now, grab a drink and welcome Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne.
Folks, welcome back to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. I'm your host, Mark Riccadonna, and with me as always,
Richie Byrne.
We did a very NPR opening.
Yeah, we did.
I
was on NPR a lot in this summer. By the way.
Yeah?
It's funny. I did a couple NPR. I did NPR because I was doing that show. Wow, I just blanked on my own show. Wow. United We Laugh.
Yeah.
For the last year, I've been touring around Suffolk County doing a show about racism and bias, and I had a lot of heat on it, and NPR. I ended up on like a number of shows on NPR. Which
That'd
was
be a
cool.
perfect show for NPR, the show that you're doing.
Yeah. So they were really great, but I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. That's why I don't prepare.
That didn't happen yet.
But now this is the official kickoff.
This is exciting.
Of season 3.
Season 3
of Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. We're, if you can't tell, in a new studio.
We're in a studio.
We got a new producer named Christian.
Hi, Christian.
How you guys doing?
We want you to get involved here.
We want you to be involved. We want you to be part of this. We are at a shared universe in Eatontown, New Jersey.
Yeah, we're moving up in the world.
Moving on up, baby. This is a beautiful studio. A lot of fun stuff in the future that's going to be coming up. But before we go any further of talking about this, I'd like to start the show the same way we start every show, and that is with a drink.
Of course.
Our
first drink of the new season.
Yeah, this is a local whiskey where I actually used to live before I moved to Ambler. This is out of Bensalem, Pennsylvania. It's called 1675. It is they make whiskey, and I will say I love this place because my brother-in-law introduced me to it, and it's a dog-friendly distillery that if you want to go and have drinks and eat, you can bring your dog with you.
Well, I'm not sure that that's a selling point for me, but hair of the dog.
Yeah, there you go. You can literally have a hair of the dog. So let's get out your cup, and I will pour you a nice drink. If I can open the bottle, the wax may have melted shut because it's 100 degrees outside.
Do you know why it's 1675?
I believe it's the year that the
company, or
not the company. It's a newer company.
The whiskey
recipe, I think, is from.
Interesting. Well, I'm not a big whiskey guy, but I'm a big Scotch guy, which is very odd.
Yeah, this is. I'm gonna be 100% honest because I've drank a lot of this before. It's a very whiskey tasting whiskey. To me personally, I like this cut with soda or like Coke or Pepsi or whatever. It's a really good mixing whiskey. It's pretty harsh straight. But
all right,
here we
see
go.
What happens. Thank God we're alcoholics. Smooth.
Yep. Smooth. Take the paint right off my teeth.
Wow.
So,
how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I missed you.
It's good. I haven't seen you live in so long. As far as we've been on.
We've been doing the Zoom shows.
We did a good 2-month run of that, 5 nights a week, pretty much.
So I was seeing you every day, but we were not live. We haven't seen each other in person.
We haven't been in the same room.
This is a lot of fun. So this is a good drink. I got to tell you, I like your beard, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah. It's very
gray.
It's very groomed.
Well, I knew it was our first show back. I said, I got to look my best. So I ran to the barber today. Here's what happened. I run to the barber. And I go in. And he puts me in the chair. And he starts, because I always go get my beard groomed by the barber, right? Once a week, maybe and it really needed it. So he starts working on me, and they got TVs on. And they have the Yes channel on, the Yankee channel. And they're showing when Mariano Rivera's last game, when he retired as a Yankee. And what happened was they were going to pull him from the game even though he still had 1 out to go. So the crowd could give him a standing ovation and blah, blah, blah. So, and they were out of they had a bad year. I can't remember what year it was, 2015, 16, whatever it was. But they sent out Derek Jeter and Andy Pettitte to pull him from the game. And when they went, and he didn't know they were going to do that. And when they went out and he saw them, he started crying.
I was about to say,
dude, he broke down. I mean, literally. And my barber went away to get a hot towel or something, and I'm watching. And I started crying in the barber's chair, and I'm like an idiot. I'm like, and thank God my barber comes over, and I'm like, and he was getting a hot towel, so he put the hot towel, so he couldn't. I'm like, thank God. What's wrong with you?
So this is the beard of tears.
The beard of tears. Now here's the funny thing: when I went to leave, my barber shook my hand, and I was like, oh. And then I realized he had just spent 20 minutes doing this, doing that, and I'm freaking out about him shaking my hand. Like, what?
God forbid if he touched you.
Yeah.
My brother's actually just went back to. He's going to barber school.
Well, your mom is a stylist,
hair, yeah.
right?
Well, she's a barber.
Your mom's a barber?
Yeah.
Oh,
she's like old school
you hear
barber.
women and you just think she's.
Yeah.
Your mom's a barber? I didn't know.
Has
That's
her own-
pretty cool.
Yeah, you were making fun of him earlier because he was like, my mom cut my hair.
Yeah.
But you were like, oh, your mom cut your hair?
But that's
now
not
you
fair.
know.
You know what? Don't talk anymore, Christian. I was wrong. Don't
Banned from the podcast.
Yes, don't jump in.
No more.
When I say jump in, that means make fun of Mark. I don't know. I know you knew.
Now I know, boss. I'm sorry.
But wasn't it funny when he goes, here's how I look, then my mom cut my hair. I'm like, you're almost 40. Your mom's cut your hair.
No, without context, it's like, oh, God.
But yeah, so my mom retired, and there's a barber shop just sitting there. And so my brother decided he was tired of doing hard work, manual labor. And
Oh, you mean she owns the shop?
Yeah, she owns the building, everything. So my brother went, I'll go to barber school. My brother has more certificates and degrees than anybody I know. He's the most educated dude I know when it comes to crazy stuff.
And he's going to cut hair.
And now he's cutting hair. He's
that's
really
pretty cool.
good. He's a really good.
See, I could never.
He was like,
could
dude,
not.
go to barber school. We could cut hair together, and we could, open shops.
Now, I don't know how you'd be as a hair cutter, but as a personality-wise.
Oh, I would love that.
You'd be tremendous.
And
You'd be, because you're like interested in people. You'd be asking questions. And my barber talks a lot, and I'm like, in my head, I'm going, just shut up and cut my hair. But I have not had a haircut. When I got my haircut March 10th, and I was letting it grow in the back, and everyone was calling me, you making fun of me about mullets and all. And I said I have like 4 barbers. They all do a good job. They all tell each other, which is so rare. Usually you only go to one person, but these guys, I'd rather go. And these guys talk to each other, and they're not upset if you go to somebody else.
Good barbers usually don't.
So, and you know what's funny? They're kids. They're like 21 years old. They're 21-year-old Jewish kids, but they think they're from the streets. They're really funny. I like them a lot. They all got the yarmulkes on, but they talk. They're like you come in, they go, yo, like you go, hey, what do you think of my new hair? Yo, your hair's fire, yo, it's fire, yo. And they talk to each other. Yo, what I say, yo? There's only one guy who doesn't do that. His name's Ruben. He's the only black guy. You go in and Ruben's like, what's up with your hair? It's Meshuggah. I'm not kidding. He's the only one who doesn't. They're all like, yo, and all. But anyway, I had this one guy cut my hair the last time, I think it was March 9th or March 10th. And I said to him, everyone's making fun of me because I'm getting a mullet. And he goes, but I want my hair to grow. And he had let his hair grow. And I said, I want my hair to grow. I've always wanted, I had long hair when I was younger, and even then it was like a mullet. He goes, you got to stop cutting it. He said, stop cutting it. It's going to take on
let it
some
go.
weird forms, but you got to just let it grow. And I'm like, I can never do that because I'm on stage. I'm
Yeah.
at Dr. Oz. And the next day, the next day I got laid off from Oz. But within
Guess I
a
can
week.
let it grow.
And I went, I'm letting it grow. And when we finally came back, because I don't even know, is Pennsylvania open to barbers and hair? I don't even know where you guys are at.
We keep going back and forth. There's no like.
Yeah. 'Cause
Anytime you feel good about something, like, okay, I know I can do this, it's gone the next day.
even New York City, I don't know if they're open to it, but Long Island is.
Yeah.
And when I went when they first reopened barbershops, I went that week, and I said, just take a little bit off the top because it was driving me crazy. But I said, but I want to keep letting it grow. And they're like, then, and they were really cool. They're like, then, let it
cut
grow. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep letting it grow and see what happens.
Well, my hair was about down to here.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I got it all cut off.
Yeah, really? Yeah. You must have.
I cut
'Cause
it.
if
Now, with the humidity, it looks like I got a perm.
See, you at least you let it go. Like when I'm always trying to gel it back. I was gelling it before the show.
You're in the bathroom just.
like the Fonz. But I hate when I gel it and then it gets real flat. Then I have a mullet again. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, what'd you do that for? So I don't know. But I'm just like, screw it. I'm gonna let it grow and see what happens.
Gotta do it. Yeah.
I mean, it's the only thing. I'm 57 years old and I have it.
Yeah, flaunt it. If you got
No.
it, flaunt it, baby.
We got some hair here, man. We got
It's a very look at the-
Christian over here with.
We got Christian with the giant. Look at
Can you
that
guys see
thing.
Christian? There he is. Show him, baby. There you go. There he is, the little Muppet.
I love it.
I love how he was just like the little Muppet.
So it's been a wild summer since we've
Yes.
taken off. Comedy's pretty much was shut down completely,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're starting to try
Yes,
to get it going. I did
Governors is doing some outdoor stuff in Long Island.
Yeah, I went to Lake George and did a giant theater, but they only
Yeah, how
let-
was that?
So it was with Tom Anzalone. So
Oh,
no matter
man.
what, I was happy.
The man, so the show sucked. Just asking.
I had more fun in the green room than most people
Dude.
have on stage.
Well, Anzalone is just.
He's
He's
a
one of my
riot.
favorites, man.
And so we go to this theater, and it's
I got a
all-
really funny Anzalone story, but I cannot tell it on the air. I'm going to tell you after the show.
Okay. But they had everything. It was run by the state. There were sanitation things every row of the theater. Everybody had to sit a row apart, 10 seats distance. So it was like a 1,000-seat theater, but there was only probably 150 people there. We did it 2 weeks in a row. I went back up and did it again, different group of people.
And that was Jody and Vinny?
No. It was it was through Dan and Jerry.
Oh, it was through Dan and Jerry.
And we had so much fun.
Shout out to Dan and Jerry.
Shout out DCA.
DCA.
Call them if you want us. I
I worked for you guys, right? we did Mark and I did a meeting with his cruise ship agent.
Cruise ship agent.
DCA, Dan and Jerry Abramson, and you always talk about your cruise ship agent, but you never told me who they were.
Yeah.
You might have said
I think I
Jerry.
said
You
Jerry.
might have said Dan.
I probably
but you-
always said
but,
Jerry.
So when we get on the phone and he says, "Hi, it's Dan Abramson," I'm like, "Dan, I know that name. I know." And I go, "I work for you guys, right?" And they're like, "Yes."
Yes, Richie.
Porkies.
Yeah. And
Through the great Kate McGill. Shout out to Kate McGill.
shout out to
I
Kate.
love
I don't
Kate.
know Kate.
Get out, really?
No, I don't
One
know
of
her,
the top
and-
college agents.
Yeah, I never got to work with her.
And she and I were friends years ago. I gotta call her. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But we had just such a great time at this theater. Everything. If you took your mask off during the show, security came and got you, brought you out.
yeah.
And it was so safe. It was so everything was done correct, and I felt very safe about it. And I've done a couple other shows that were run by the state, or it was like a casino or a corporate gig,
Right.
and everything was done with rules, very strict.
Yeah.
And then I got hired. I won't say where it was, who it was, any of that stuff, because I don't want to say anything negative in case they're watching. But I showed up, and it was a short. It was run by the state. It was at a state park, and this was in PA. and we showed up, and none of the people had masks on. They were playing. Cornhole, and we pulled in, and I was with Tom Briscoe, and we're both like, I'm not getting out till it's my time to go up. And there was a hypnotist. The hypnotist is on stage, and he's doing his thing. So I texted my contact and just said, hey, we're here, but I'm going to stay in the car. I don't want to interrupt the show, and I want to go over my notes because I didn't want to get out.
Mm-hmm.
There was no social distancing going on. There was nothing. So she was like, but you got to come out and eat. The buffet's still open. I'm like, buffet? I did the show, and nobody liked us. They listened.
It sounds like it was
They listened.
sounds like a horror show.
It was a rough one.
See, I think that's the one thing that it can come back easier is the theaters, as far as for comedy.
As long as they're okay with, the acts are okay with knowing they're not going to be able to get paid what they used to.
Yeah.
Because they can only sell.
But I think, like, clubs, like, what's the point of a club opening if they can only put, 40 people in the room?
Yeah.
But a theater can put more people in the room because they usually are bigger.
Yeah.
But they, so I think theaters we might have more of a chance at work. And the other thing with theaters is they can't do plays. Like, part of the problem of theater right now isn't just keeping the audience separate. The actors can't be this close. The actors can't be singing into each other.
Yelling at
the
each
actors
other.
Can't yell at each other. The
arguing.
actors can't kiss. So the actors can't rehearse. If you're a theater, I think bring in a comedy show.
Yeah.
It's one night. You don't have to open. You don't have to worry about rehearsal. You don't have to worry about anything. Just bring in a comedy show.
Yeah.
Get your patrons. Get 45, 50, whatever patrons, and do a show.
Nice
I don't know
show.
why. I mean, to me, that's the way to go. But there are still areas you can't get into. I don't know. Well, I mean, truth be told, this is our first show, and we're going to talk about the fact that we're shooting ahead of time, so we're a month behind here.
Yeah, the rules could all
right.
change.
Every theater could be there could be a vaccine by.
Yeah, so please be kind in the comments.
Right.
We're a month behind.
Right, and we're
where
trying
we are.
not to talk, but right now, as of August 3rd, 4th, whatever it is, you still can only perform. You can only be outside.
Yeah.
And you know what's bothering me right now? And I don't know what the rules are with you. See, that's the other thing. The rules just keep changing.
And they change
Cuomo
state to
keeps
state.
changing the rules state to state, but Cuomo keeps changing the rules every day.
Yeah.
Like, he'll, say, all right, you can be open, but you got to serve food. And then a bar will go, well, we got chips. We're serving chips. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. But that's not what you said.
It has to be a meal.
It has to be a meal. And wings don't count. And then Buffalo lost their mind. What do you mean wings don't count? And, tell my guys that wings don't count.
And let's also not forget you have to hit like 4 food groups for it to be considered a meal. So,
but I mean, I don't understand. One of the rules right now in New York that I want to talk to you about off the air is that you can have music outside, but you can have comedy. Why? And why are you taking my ability to make a living out of my hands like that? And if you said no entertainment, okay. But there's a rule in New York right now that says no comedy, no exotic dancing.
Because they probably went to a couple shows and realized maybe we shouldn't have comedy.
I think they saw Mike Keegan. But I just thought that was funny. No comedy, no exotic dancing. And I'm like, you just took away every chance I have of making a living.
I know. You shake your thing, man.
The two of them.
We're in Jersey, so you can do it here.
What is he looking at? What are you doing?
I'm reading something.
You're supposed to be a part of the show over
I'm
here.
on your. You told me not to talk.
I was
lying.
lying.
Oh, you were lying? Well, my feelings didn't be able to tell the difference.
Oh, stop. Little baby. Little Muppet baby.
Muppet Baby. Is that going to be the new nickname?
God.
Please, actually,
God, no.
we should bring this up right now. I thought I was the Kevin Bacon character in the Degrees of Separation. So
weird.
I was so excited to introduce Christian to Richie because I'm going, these are from 2 different worlds of my life.
Right.
I have my comedian friend with my filmmaking friend, which by the way, Christian is an amazing filmmaker.
Amazing.
And writer.
And I have seen your work.
Thank you.
We've played your work on our show.
Yes, we have.
Really?
Yeah, we played Fatherhood.
We did.
So I wanted to put it out there that, like, oh, I get to introduce these two worlds. I introduced these two. You guys can go on to how this happened. I left the room for 1 minute. 1 minute to get my glass, and I walked back in, and they're in the middle of being old-time friends.
mutual friends.
Oh, man.
So
yeah.
how did the connection happen?
Can I just, and let me tell you before we start,
Okay.
I called a friend of mine from that,
Yeah,
and
like-
he goes, how did he put that together with Dr. Oz? Like, you put that together so fast. That,
Yeah, because
and
I was like, oh, wait, Doug
it was
knows
so-
Dr. Oz pretty well.
So here's what happened. I mentioned that I do the warm-up of the Dr. Oz show, which maybe I'm not anymore because there's no audience. This is right
We'll
now.
find out in 1 month.
And I think
Well, I mean-
I know already. The union's involved in that. There's no audience from what they're
boy.
telling me. But I said something about being the warm up for Dr. Oz, and I forget why. But we were, I know why, because Kevin Cash, the Muppets.
Yeah, we were talking about Kevin Cash first.
right.
Because I'm.
And I
Talking
said I
about
worked with
Elmo.
Kevin Cash who was the voice of Elmo.
Yeah.
And you thought that was really cool because you're a big Muppet guy, right?
Yeah.
And a big, I guess, Jim Henson guy.
Big Jim Henson.
And I said I did the warm up for Dr. Oz, and then we did a show at Chicago, and it was a live show, and I hosted it, and Oz came on, and Kevin was one of the guests, and then you blew me away because you go, Dr. Oz, and I go, yeah, and he goes, did you ever meet Dougie Fresh? And I'm like, what? What?
It's such a small world.
And you
too,
go,
'cause,
he's my
like,
godfather. I'm like, he's your
Yeah.
godfather.
Doug has been in my family like my whole
Well,
life.
tell everybody who your dad is.
So my dad was the lead singer and producer in a group called PM Dawn. He was Prince B, and
Which is very cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
amazing.
I mean, to me, he was dad, but like later on in life, I was like,
Because-
oh yeah, this is cool.
When I met you online with Mark,
On Tinder.
you guys were talking. Yeah, Big
have a-
Samoan.com.
I have the big Samoan.com tattoo tramp stamp to prove it.
But we met, and Mark said who your dad was, and because I'm 90, I didn't know who your dad was, but I looked it up, and I'm like, this is really freaking
Well, and
cool,
a
man.
buddy of ours got so excited to meet you on
Yeah.
the call because he wrote a paper about your father.
Really?
Yeah. You don't remember Tim?
Oh
on the call?
yeah.
And he was like, I wrote
That's
a
who
paper
I
about
called.
your
That's
father.
right. I forgot Tim was on that call. Right. The guy you met, he wrote a paper on your father in that's
College.
right. And
Wow.
and he
Tim.
is the reason I met Dougie Fresh, ironically, Tim Sullivan,
No way.
because he was Dr. Oz's PR guy. Yeah, and Doc and Dougie, he set up a thing where they did a thing on education. They did a rap about education.
Oh, I remember this.
And Dougie came on the show to do it. And they made a video, and then they went to the
Did
White
Oz
House.
rap?
And, huh?
Did Oz rap?
Yeah, of course. He can't wait.
Oh,
He's
boy.
just-
Get it in, you gotta put a little.
I don't really care what nobody done told you.
Right. Okay. Now we need some help from the kids. Come on, let's do a little soul train now. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Same quarter when I'm
Come on.
down. And that's 90 feet baseline and
Whoa.
Going straight to the hole.
Go ahead.
So Dougie's backstage. He's going to go on the
Dr.
show.
Oz was an alumni on the show.
Yeah, Dr. Oz was a guest on our show. Yeah.
way.
Yeah. He was great. He was
That's
great.
funny.
So Dougie's backstage to go on, and Tim introduces me to Dougie. And the stage manager's right there. My friend Seth is there, who's like always loves to give me shit and all, right? So Seth has got Doug. He's there to bring Dougie out, right? So
Yeah.
Tim goes, "This is Richie Byrne. He's our warm-up guy. He's a comic." And Doug goes, "Yo, what's up, man?" And I shake his hand. He's a real warm guy, right? Tim goes, "Richie's really funny. He's a really talented guy, too." And Dougie goes, "Yeah, I know." And Tim goes, "What?" And he goes, "I know." Tim goes, "What do you mean you know?" He goes, "Talent knows talent."
Oh my god.
Which, by the way,
God.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
You know when you are talented, when you are in this business and really in it, and you meet somebody, you don't even have to see their act to know if they're good. You know most of the time.
That was one of my advantages at Stand Up New York was
You had
I would
talent.
be at the door and somebody would walk in. I go, "You're a comic." They go,
You can
"How
tell.
do you know?"
You can tell.
I could just.
But the
tell.
way he's talent knows talent. And the set, my friend Seth, the stage manager, just goes, "Oh, Jesus, I'm going to hear about this for weeks now. He's never going to shut up about it."
we have to have Seth on, by the way.
We have to have Dougie Fresh on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom's his manager. I could.
What the hell are you talking about? We have to have your mom on.
I've been trying to get my mom to do a podcast for
Oh,
the longest
dude,
time.
we will have your
Oh,
mom.
my God,
we
dude.
don't just do comics. We do entertainers. We do whatever. Whoever we think is cool,
If
that's
you're
what we have on the
interesting
show.
and cool, you can be on the show.
I'm trying. I would definitely get.
I
her
guess
on.
All right,
Christian's
we're
going to be
gonna
our
work
new
on it.
booker.
But I thought that was such a great line because I've always thought that myself, that I can pick out talent, and you just said it too, and just the way he did it so cool. He's like, "Hey man, what's up? Nice to meet you." And Tim goes, "Richie's he's our comic, but he's really very talented." Yeah, I know. He goes, "No, I'm saying because I sing too, and he wanted him to know that I'm in music."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, he's really talented." He goes, "Yeah, I know." And Tim goes, "Well, how do you know?" He goes, "Talent knows talent."
It's such a beautiful thing because it's so true. How many times have you been in the middle of the country and they introduce you to the comic that's opening for you?
And you just know they suck.
You know they're bad or you know they're good, and you can just tell by the way they hold themselves, the way they talk to you,
Right.
the way they act.
Right.
And there's sometimes when you meet people and that you get pleasantly surprised, which is my favorite.
Right.
My favorite thing, and I want to huge shout out to San Antonio, Texas, because the comics all have no egos there.
Oh yeah.
And so when you go to meet these guys and they're opening the show, you look at them and go, "Oh boy, like this isn't." And then they blow you away with a really smart, good humor that's actually
Really?
funny. I met one of my favorite people on social media. He's my favorite social media guy. Anytime he posts something, I just absolutely adore him. And I've been following him, and he was the MC. It was me, him, and David Tell. And it's this comedian named Jay Whitecotton. And we have to have him on the show.
Maybe have you talked about him to me? Because I
yeah.
know the name, but I might
I
know
wanted
it
to get
through-
him on the show before.
You know everybody.
I
man.
love meeting new
this
comics,
guy,
man.
He knows everybody. It's amazing to me.
This
Now,
guy, he's so smart, and it's so there's so much to what he does that nobody can pinpoint him on what side of the fence he's on with like politics or social, because he just
Makes fun of everybody.
and it nails it. It nails it. And I'm just like, if I ever had a late night show, he'd be my first phone call to hire. Second phone call would be Tom Simmons, which you know Tom Simmons.
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Carolinas. Those two guys are just so smart and funny. And I met them both on the road. And as soon as, well, with Jay, I didn't know, but with Tom, I saw him in Atlanta, and I went, "Oh, there's no way I should be closing this show."
By the way, Richie, don't be offended. You'll be the third phone call when he gets his late
Well,
night
it's
show.
Well, I'm gonna be his.
you know what's funny? I didn't want to screw him up, but I didn't want to stop his flow. But I was thinking, thanks, Mark.
Because if I had a show,
More of this.
if I had a show, I'd be his Ed McMahon.
You would.
So that he would be hiring me, and I'd be hiring
One
them.
day I was driving with a comic, Pat O'Rourke. I don't think you know Pat. Do you know Pat?
Yeah.
Pat's a good friend of mine, and
He helped us with he was on the show with Baldinger.
oh, geez, of course, right, Brian Baldinger. So Pat's driving me to a gig in Pennsylvania. He's the opener, and he's driving me to Pennsylvania. He picks me up at my house. I get in the car. I'm hungover. I'm like, stop down here at the bagel store. I got to get an egg sandwich, blah, blah, blah. I get the egg sandwich. I get a coffee, a Yoo-hoo. And I get in there. He tells the story about
You're the second person that I've heard like in the last month say Yoo-hoo's good for hangovers.
It's great for hangovers.
My kids drink Yoo-hoo. I gotta start drinking it.
It's great for hangovers. I get in the car. I go to sleep for like an hour. He's driving. Poor guy's driving. I get on the phone with my manager at the time, and something comes up about Moody McCarthy. Shout out to him. We got to get him
Shout
on the
out to
show.
Moody,
Great,
yes.
one of my favorite comics. And I go, Moody's such a good guy. I go, if I ever make it big, Moody's gonna open for me. And Pat just goes, what the fuck kind of bullshit is hello? Screaming about it. You said I'm driving you to nowhere. You're sleeping.
Yeah, but when you're in the room with somebody, you already assume they have the job with you.
No, Pat, I'm not hiring Pat.
Oh, well, I mean, except that.
Anyway, but we this thing comes up about Dougie Fresh, and then you say that this is like the most 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon
Yeah, I
that
get
you
it.
could ever find. And what did I say?
You
I
had
go,
to top it.
I'm like half a degree away from Kevin. I used to hang out with his brother-in-law.
See, you say I know everybody. You know everybody.
I don't know comics. I know everybody but me. Like, I'm such an idiot. Robbie Sedgwick, Kira Sedgwick's brother, great guy. Robbie Sedgwick, really good actor.
He should seriously sing standards because that name
Robbie Sedgwick.
would be so perfect on like a theater billboard. Like,
You're right. But
come hear America's song with
Robbie Sedgwick. But I used to work in a bar uptown, a restaurant uptown on 95th Street and Amsterdam. And
what bar?
Goodbye Columbus. And Robbie was good friends with the owner. So he would come in, and I knew he was an actor, really good-looking guy. And I'd work days.
You'd
and
get
then
fluttered
I'd
when
hang
he'd come
out,
in.
we'd drink, watch the Knicks. The Knicks were big. Watch Nick games, laugh, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, this
We'd
was a
go
while
out.
ago then, huh?
This is in 92, 93. So then one day, something comes up about his sister, and I'm like, who's your sister? And he goes, Kira Sedgwick. And I'm like,
I should
you're
put
Kira
that together.
Sedgwick's brother? Like, and I just knew him as Robbie. And like, he never talked about his family. And his aunt was, what was her name? Edie Sedgwick, who was the big artist in the 60s. I'm blanking on his name. Andy Warhol's muse.
No way.
Dude, yeah, Edie Sedgwick was like the shit. That's his aunt. That's his father's sister. And
That
and I'm
must
like,
be a great
and I'm like,
Thanksgiving.
I'm hanging out with Robbie, and then one night he showed up with Kevin, and they all went out, and I wasn't there, so I didn't. Get, I was this close
You
to hanging
missed
out
your
with
degree.
but I just think it's funny. I'm like when people go 6 degrees of Kevin, I'm like I was as close to Kevin Bacon degrees
like-
as you could be.
yeah.
So
So my degree of Kevin Bacon is, I'd always go down to Atlanta to play the Laughing Skull and the Laughing Skull Festival, and I have a lot of friends in Atlanta, so when I'd go down there, it would be, even though I'm only working 3 nights, I'd be down there for 7, and just going out, watching music and doing the thing. There was a thing called Bacon Fest, and it was literal bacon, like the food. So you go there, they sell cups of bacon flavored everything.
I think you
bacon.
told me that. Go ahead.
And we're at
What a wonderful
Bacon
festival.
Fest, and we're like having the time of our lives laughing. I'm with a really good friend, Kurt Taylor, who we should have on, amazing guitarist. And as we're at the festival, we start to walk to the car to leave, and all of a sudden he gets all these blown up. The Bacon Brothers show up dressed as bacon.
No way.
They have bacon costumes on.
No way.
And then went up and unannounced. They weren't like, nobody invited them or hired them to be there. They just went, what's Bacon Fest without us? So they just
And they
showed up.
performed?
Yeah, and they performed. It was like the coolest.
Are
like,
they good?
We left. I missed my bacon opportunity.
They're good on bacon, on rye with a little mayo.
Throw a tomato on there. I'm talking.
So-
Genius.
We should tell the audience
So
what's going on
you're watching episode 1. We are now in
of
this,
season 3.
episode 1 of season 3. We're here. At
Every
Shared
season it's
Universe.
changed.
Yeah,
Season 1 was pretty much
just
the strip.
audio at the strip.
Audio at the strip. Season 2 was in our houses.
Yeah,
And now season 3, we're here
at Shared Universe,
which I
with
think is going to be
an amazing home.
yes. I have a good feeling about Shared
I
Universe.
feel really good, and you had a sign of why you know it was going to be good.
Oh, yes, I did. Yesterday. I have, for those of you who know me, I have a fish pond in my backyard. And I went out to feed my fish. Actually, I have 2. I went for a walk last week. I've been walking. And I went to this park, and I parked my car. And when I went up to get out of the car, laying upside down right next to my car was a dead bird. And it was like literally, it looked like it just went done. Like just a heart attack gone. Like Widowmaker. You know what I mean? Like he was just laying like he looked like a.
One too many bacon sandwiches.
That bird ate too much pork. So it grossed me out, and I had to move the car. I freaked out because I'm not good
big
with.
was this thing?
He wasn't. Yeah,
Small vulture.
dude. I'm a wimp. So I don't think anything of it. You know, this is last week. So now yesterday, I go out to my pond to feed my fish, and I look, and there's a dead bird in the pond, in the middle of the pond, floating in the pond. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Dead bird, another dead. Now I got to take him out with a net. And I'm not good, dude. I'm like, and then
touch it.
I couldn't get him in the garbage. I'm like, get out of the net. And I even had one of my fish die 2 weeks ago. So I had it, which I'm very upset about. He was an original.
Blinky.
Since we moved there. And Blinky.
All this cartoon stuff around
You
me.
thought that was going to be a deep cut that no one would acknowledge, and then everyone was like, we know what the fuck you're talking about.
But I looked up what a dead bird means because I got nervous about it. And the dead bird symbolizes new beginnings. So how cool is that?
There you go. Perfect.
New beginnings.
New beginnings here. And speaking of fish, I took my kids fishing. Axel's obsessed. Obsessed with fishing.
How old is he now?
He is 5. And
Okay, that's a good age.
I'm not going to lie. When you said fish, I thought you were going to say Axel's a fish fan now, and I was very concerned.
he's smoking pot.
Axel loves 30-minute songs that go nowhere.
We were on a boat for 6 hours.
Wow.
Did not catch one fish. I figured an hour in, these kids were gonna. If we didn't catch anything, they were done. We stayed out there, and at the 5:45 mark, he was like, "Do we really have to go in? I love fishing." And I was like, "This is really cool." And I go, "You sure you really like fishing?" We went in, and the whole ride home, he goes, "I can't wait to go fishing again with you, Dad. Can't wait to go fishing." I'm like,
Wow.
he is a little old man.
So are you, though.
He actually, this is something off subject, but it was so cute. So he found out what nocturnal means. I didn't think nothing of it. So I saw a moth, and we're in my parents' garage, and I swat at the moth. He goes, "Don't hit the moth." I go, "What's a moth? Who cares?" He goes, "Moths are beautiful. They're nocturnal butterflies." And I was like, okay,
So after I looked up nocturnal,
yeah. Once I figured out what that meant, I was like, but he also, my nephew, Riker, my brother, the barber, who's going to be the barber, his son stays up and plays video games on his phone all night. Like, he stays up all night. And my Axel was crying one afternoon because it was like 1 p.m. and Riker wasn't awake. And he's crying. I go, "What's wrong? Why are you crying?" Like, I'm like, everything's like amazing right now. We're like hanging out with your grandparents. We're eating. We're having a good time. And he goes, "I'm just so afraid Riker's going to turn nocturnal."
and you're going to kill him.
I love how you had a beautiful story and bounced out with stupid. I love that kid.
He's a little old man. And anytime he does something bad, I can't get mad at him. I just can't. I have to stop myself.
That's how I
from
am with
laughing.
you.
I know. Why do you think I push the buttons as much as I can? I'm like, I'm gonna eventually find the
I'm always
button
like,
that makes
fucking
him
Mark.
snap.
Aw, Mark is so. Look at the.
Mark's like a golden retriever. You just can't get mad at the damn thing.
Golden retriever.
So what we're gonna do with the podcast is we're going to be back weekly. We're going to be every Monday. We're going to post stuff.
No, Tuesday.
Every Tuesday we're going to be posting. It'll be on. You can follow us with Facebook. You can follow us with if you're on Instagram, on YouTube, or if you do it the old-fashioned way, we're on all the podcasting things, but just the audio version.
Right.
You can watch the video, and we're going to be here at this new beautiful space.
We are.
And
Which, given the size of the three of us, I think that maybe air conditioning might help in the future. We are, and I'm wearing jeans. I gotta tell you a story.
This is why I don't prepare.
Is this
Once
your new
again,
catchphrase?
hasn't happened yet.
Oh, no, I've never prepared. The audience knows that.
Oh, it shows. So I gained the COVID-15, right?
30 in my case.
And I took out in June. I take out my summer clothes. I might have told this already to you, but I go get the summer clothes, and I got like 5 or 6 pairs of shorts. None of them fit. Not even like I thought. All right, this could be rough, but you know when you gotta like. No, I was like, this was as far as I could get. I'm like, and I'm like,
You have to put 2 pants together
and
in reverse.
Here's the weird thing, because from March through like June, we were in. You couldn't go anywhere. There was nothing open, so you wore sweats. Who knew? Like, I never knew I was really gaining that much weight because I was never really that uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know you're gaining weight by your clothes. Like, it's so true. Like, your clothes tell you. You got to stop, man. Yeah.
The shirt's feeling tight. I better not-
But I didn't have that because I was pretty much naked the whole 3 months, you know? So none of the shorts fit. None. And I go, this is early June, maybe late May. And I go, you know what? I am not buying shorts. I'm going to lose this weight. Well, it's now August, and they still don't fit.
Good news. 1 more month, you won't need them.
I know. But I finally caved about a month ago, and I went to Walmart, and I bought 1 pair that fit, 1 pair of shorts. And I can't. But now I have, like, anywhere I go, like, I went to dinner with some friends of mine a couple of weeks ago, and my friend knows the story about the shorts. And
How many days?
I had to.
How many days you been wearing those?
I was a female, my friend Janet, and I had to go. I brought the shorts to the dry cleaner, which no one could believe that I bring shorts to the dry cleaner, but I do. And I go to the dry cleaner, and so now the shorts are in the dry cleaner. So I go to the dry cleaner, I get the shorts. Then I go to the restaurant, and I'm in sweat shorts. And I go into the men's room in the restaurant, and I change into my good shorts. When I come out, and my friend Janet goes, "Will you buy a second pair of shorts?" She goes, "It's been 2 months. You're not going to lose the weight. Give it up." I'm like, I can't do it.
Damn.
Dude, I got like 6 pairs of shorts just sitting there waiting all summer. I'm like, and I'm in these hot jeans. And even these jeans, they're the biggest jeans I've ever owned, man. I am like... And it's funny now that I'm putting on real clothes, like all of a sudden you find yourself going, "Oh, I'm full." Like I never noticed anything when I was in these sweats. And I was like
Living
George
large,
Costanza.
baby.
Remember when George? It's like you say to the world, "I give up."
I don't care anymore.
I don't care.
KP forgot.
Oh, his picture.
So,
Even though he wasn't here yet.
not yet. Well, we got a picture for KP. So, yeah, we'll be in the studio. We're going to be back to weekly.
Well, back to weekly. And we're hoping to do some live shows. It's just gonna be hard right now to do live shows.
Yeah, so we're trying to
we're gonna
pre-record.
We're gonna have some guests in the studio, and we're gonna have some guests on Zoom. It will be. We probably will have a guest every week, so don't fret that it's gonna be just me and Mark. I know we suck.
Yeah.
But remember in the beginning, Chris, this is a good story. When we went out one day, and I told a story. And
so you found Mark on goodsamoan.com too?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Got the tramp stamp to prove it with little hash marks.
So you went out.
And he says, the next day, he goes, you're a great storyteller, man. You should do, he met my friend Tim, and he goes, you should get that guy Tim, and you should do a storytelling podcast. And I go, no, I should do it with you. And I'm like, you and me, we'll do it. And he goes, all right. And we're like, every week we'll do. We did like 3 shows together, and we were like, we got to get guests. This is we need some guests to tell.
We
some
need
stories.
some help.
That's enough of that now. Just the two. And we really thought it was just going to be the 2 of us. Everyone was like, it's enough of that, man.
Yeah.
Even this, but we haven't done a show just the 2 of us. And
Months.
I've been fretting this show. I've been like, well, what am I going to talk about?
Fuck am I, chop liver?
I didn't know you were going to be here.
He didn't know you were going to be so entertaining and such a beautiful person. That's why I wasn't scared. That's why I didn't prepare.
You were like, I'm not worried.
But we're hoping you guys will tune in. It's going to be great. As we move forward, we're gonna add more things to the show, but right now we're gonna keep it simple.
Try to keep it simple. We're going to try to have
Great
fun.
interviews. We're hoping we'll have some good guests coming up. We're not gonna say who, but we got some great guests. Great shows.
I'm super excited with what we're recording next week, but you'll have no idea when it's coming out.
Yes, we're not sure when it's coming out.
Yeah.
But we are back, and
We're going to re-air all of our
Please
episodes.
tell them that. Yeah.
So we're going to re-air all of our episodes just to get them out as the countdown. And then we're going to start going back to fresh new season 3. So stay tuned, listen, and enjoy. And let's end this show with what our favorite thing is, and that's the joke on the street.
I said it wrong. What is it?
Joke on the street. He titled it.
But you're saying it wrong. It's our first time doing it. We screwed it up. Joke of the street.
Joke of the street.
Oh my God! What do you guys need a fucking countdown? 1, 2, 3.
Joke of the street. So here it is. Young girl turns 15, old enough to date. Her mother goes, "You're 15 now. You're old enough to date." The girl gets really nervous. Her mother says, "What's the matter?" She says, "What if a boy wants to do more than I want to do? How do I stop him?" Mother says, "It's very simple. When you're in a car or you're with a boy somewhere and he wants to fool around, just look him in the eyes and say, 'What are we going to name the baby?' And I guarantee you he'll stop anything you don't want to do." So she goes out with this one guy. She said, "Do you know the joke?" Okay.
No, I just love that fucking God. I'm sorry.
What?
Just keep going. I'm sorry.
You're killing on the setup.
So she goes out with this one guy. She doesn't like him at all. He's a real nerd. He's a real asshole. I think his name was Nardiello. And he's taking her home. He pulls over in the car. He starts trying to fool around with her. She looks him in the eye. She says, "What are we going to name the baby?" He stops everything, takes her home. She's out with a second guy. He's a little nicer, a little better looking. She likes him, but she doesn't really like him. Same thing. He's taking her home. They pull over in the car. He starts fooling around. She says, "What are we going to..." She lets him go a little further. She says, "What are we going to name the baby?" He stops everything, takes her home. She's out with a third guy. A little older, a little suave, good-looking dude, really suave. Takes her out to dinner, dancing, whole thing. She really likes him. She thinks she wants to sleep with him, but she knows her mother said she shouldn't. She goes, "I know what I'll do. I'll sleep with him, then I'll say it." So he pulls over. They get in the back of the car. They fool around. They go all the way. He finishes. Just as he's done, she looks him in the eye. She says, "What are we going to name the baby?" He gets up, takes off a condom, ties it into 3 knots, throws it out the window, and goes, "If he gets out of that, we'll name him Houdini."
Folks, that's Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. Good night from a shared universe.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on YouTube or wherever you podcast. We also would appreciate spreading the word. Let anyone who may enjoy us know about us. We appreciate the plug. Special thanks to A Shared Universe Studios, Realize Records, and Why Not for the great music.